You see, when you make comparison, of course, to me, ordinarily, there's no room for comparison in terms of what we suffered from in 16 years, and we are now trying to make repairs under Buhari in just 3 years. And look at the difference. Look at the huge difference. Look at the massive construction going on from place to place. The third mainland bridge is almost, sorry, not third mainland bridge, the second Niger bridge is almost nearing completion. They're telling us that that project will be delivered in November. Something that has been on and for years, they'll tell you, oh, it's been awarded. You award projects all over the place, abandon them because the money has been stolen. Look at Lokoja, Benin. Look at what is going on there now. Massive job is going on. Dualization of that highway is on day and night. I pass there all the time very regularly, so nobody's going to tell me anything about it. Look at Lokoja and down to, what's that place? Before you get to Delta State. There's a city in Kogi there. Look at it. The dualization is going on rapidly. So you see that the dividends of democracy is what we are really enjoying now. And what are the dividends of democracy? It's not even just projects, but we're talking of the administrative prowess of a government. And what is it? Ensuring that everything that you do is transparent. If you have to give out contract, let it be transparent. If you have to make payments, let it be transparent. If you have to even operate, even in the office, let it be transparent. I was listening to the records a few days ago, where was it yesterday, where the federal government is saving a huge 165 billion naira on ghost workers. Come on, 165 billion per annum savings from ghost workers. So you can imagine how they have raped the economy dry. You can imagine even monies meant for security. Monies meant for security. $2.4 billion meant to procure arms and ammunition to fight insurgency. People just went around in the corner, shared this money. It's amazing. I mentioned earlier of $16 billion went down the drain. I'll give you on television, and they'd like to come and challenge you. I'll prove it, and I'm making rules on how I can review this to them in the papers. $100 million was paid to some Chinese company in May 2015, when the government of Obasanjo was just about leaving office. He paid that money for rural electrification, rural telephony, stage 2, quote me, and or plus 300 million naira for a job that I said today has never been done. Not a pin has been put on top of another pin. Why? Because stage 1 was sold by the same Obasanjo. I have the facts, I have the documents. I tried as much as possible to push them under the last regime so that they can convert this fund to other projects for the country rather than going running away with this money. I went to the Minister of Communications, there to Kojo Weala, Minister of Finance, and they said, oh, we're doing something on how we can do environment. But as I speak to you, that money is lost. Why pay money to a company when you know that there's no use for such project anymore in the country? There's so many things that this government has come to correct. Are we talking about even the civil service in terms of training? A lot of training programs have been going on in the civil service today, and recruitment is now being more specialized as compared to what we've been having. Oh, it's my cousin put him there, oh, it's my nephew put him there. Now you have to equally compete. Even if you say, no, don't listen to Dr. Mene. Go and find out the facts of that. Are you going to talk about the maritime industry? We are moving on very strongly as well, whereby you now have seaports springing up from Lagos, not just the ones that were there. We now have the ones even in Ogun State. We have the one in Cross Rivers, in Akwa Ibom, all springing up. How? Because there are a lot of encouragement in terms of investment. And if you are not sure of return on your investment, you will not invest. So it means there's confidence in the economy of this country today. Then we come to that will even bring us to the issue of savings. We were down to $2.something billion savings before APC came to power. What do we have today? We have over 60 billion. Somebody says, why would you be keeping money? Why would you save money when the economy requires plenty of money? There are lots of things, the reasons why you must save money, because that's what gives confidence to the foreign investor. And today, American government is pumping, is going to pump over how many billions, $20-something billion into light rail, fast light rail system in the west-east region. So you can imagine coastal train. How are they having this confidence to come? Private investors, not government. It's because they have seen that there is prudence in the management of government funds, and there is guarantee that when the investment is made, there will be return on the investment. And of course, we're equally trying to liberalize the laws that govern foreign investment. You see, you can readily just go as a foreigner, go and register a company. You don't even need a Nigerian anymore to be a director. You can come and register and what? Enjoy the benefits of being a full-scale foreign outfit. So we are really doing so much in this economy to assist them. But don't say, people keep saying, oh, but everybody, we're all dying, we're crying. How do you expect someone or a government of APs to fix in 3 years what you have destroyed in 16 years? It's not possible. And what we have done now in APC in 3 years is more than put together what PDP probably would have done in 60 years. We shouldn't have any basis for comparison in terms of the economy, in terms of social investments, and otherwise. Even let me tell you about the oil sector. The oil sector was booming. There was no time we had the prices going below $80 per barrel for those 16 wasted years. Even at the dying minute, we had up to how much? $120 per barrel. And not just the price alone, but the quantity. We had up to 2.9 million barrels per day production level. And what happened when APC was coming in? Sadly though, because it wasn't the fault, I won't say it was the fault of the last administration, but sadly, the price of oil dropped and ditched to about $28 per barrel at the point in time. Then, not just the price ditching, but we had production dishing to 400,000 barrels a day at a point in time. How do you expect the magic? A government that has been earning nothing less than $80 per day, per barrel for over let's take an average of 2.5 million barrels a day. You want to compare that in terms of what you are supposed to have done for the people, which you did not even do, to a government that has been earning less than $60. It is just within the last how many months that we are now having an upward pricing for our crude oil. If not, we've been having it between 33 and 41, 33, 41. So you have that, and between 400 and 900 is now that we have gone up a little bit to about 1 million plus, not even up to 2 million yet. And that government is doing what we is doing now. We are not borrowing to pay salary. Take note of that. Let's be frank to ourselves, Nigerians. Let's be frank to ourselves. We are no longer borrowing to pay salaries. But the previous governments got to a point they were borrowing in spite of $120 per barrel at 2.9 million barrels a day. Still borrowing. Today the federal government is even bailing state governments of their problems of salary payments. And of course, some PDP governments refuse to even help their workers by using this money that the federal government was giving to them. Delta State is one of them. Delta State at the point got 10 billion for salary, bailout fund we call it. And what did they do with it? Spent 5 billion. They said to us, they admitted that they spent 5 billion on salaries. And what did they do with the other 5 billion? It's just, your guess is as good as mine. Because there are no projects on ground to show for it. So you can see clearly that APC has actually come on a rescue mission, and they're succeeding in that rescue mission. And don't forget, Nigerians, we shouldn't have short memories, please, because I know we don't. We're not that kind of people. We are going to fix this economy together, not just government. If you could cooperate with a very sick government for 16 years, then why can't you cooperate with the government that is now giving you better opportunities to know where your money is being channeled? So please, there is no room for comparison in way of the democratic dispensation under Buhari and any other president that has come and gone. Buhari has selflessly shown to all of us that we are here to what? Entrench through democracy. The very first time you find a president called President Muhammadu Buhari refusing to drop one single naira into the National Assembly to pass budget. And what are we getting? Budget that has been passed, that has been sent to the House since October last year. They just thought about releasing it. They just thought about it. How many months passed? 7, 8 months. But the man is resilient. We can't do this. We must go on and do things the way they're supposed to be done under a true democratic system. So that is what we are into. This government under Buhari is actually beefing up our democratic values.
Okay, sir.
And we must give him that support.
Not less than a second. What is your message to Nigerians as we celebrate?
My message to Nigerians is to, first of all, to the entire Nigerians, continue to support APC government, and to Deltans, vote out that inept government, that corrupt government of Delta State, being led by His Excellency